Hi, my name is Christine Murakami, and I'm the Upper School Technology Integration Specialist at Columbus School for Girls. Welcome to the online parent-guardian convertible laptop orientation. This marks a big year for us because it's the 10th year that we've had a one-to-one program at CSG, so we've had plenty of experience with the pitfalls and successes of having one-to-one. It's also the 5th year that we've had an online orientation for you, which is much more convenient for you because you can do this on your own schedule. But the downside is that you don't have the face-to-face interaction to ask questions if you want to. So if by the time you've watched this video you still have questions, please feel free to contact me or anyone else in the technology department to get your questions answered. Finally, I want to point out to you that what we give the students is truly a convertible laptop because it is both a tablet and a laptop, fully functioning in one device. I'll speak more about the different features of these, this laptop or this convertible laptop, but I did want to point out to you that that's what we're giving them.
This year's model we're very excited about. It's called the Yoga from Lenovo. We've been working with Lenovo throughout since the very beginning. This model is very exciting because it's got a 360-degree flip and fold design, as you can see from these pictures. There are 4 different modes. As you can see, there is a tablet mode, which makes it look like an iPad. There's closed and open laptop modes, and then there's this tent style where you can look at it as if in stand-up mode. So it's also got Windows 8 on it, which actually does a really great job of combining integrated 10-finger touch, keyboard and mouse input, but it's also got a camera that allows motion control, so you can make gestures to the camera to do things like flip pages, rewind and forward music without actually touching the device at all. So that's kind of an interesting addition that I have not had the chance to play around with much. It's also got what's called instant resume, so there's no spinning hard drives, so it's solid state technology. Everything's really fast to boot up, and to wake it up from sleep just takes 10 seconds, so that's pretty exciting. This is a full-size 13-inch screen and keyboard. It's only 0.67 inches thick, so it's ultra thin. It does weigh 3.3 pounds, which is a little hefty, but I think it's a really great, powerful machine for what we get. The size and the style is really nice. Obviously, the keyboard is attached. There is actually a spot for the stylus, and unlike the X model, the Lenovo X model that the next year's 10th, 11th, and 12th graders have, the single hinge that those older computers had is replaced with a more robust 2-hinge style. So the single hinge, you can imagine, fatigues a little quicker than a normal laptop hinge. I'm going to go over some of the features of the Yoga by looking at the side views. You can read this too, but I'll go over a little bit. The mode lock here locks it into the 4 different positions. That will be open and closed and laptop mode and stand-up mode. Number 2, here and here, we have 2 USB drives. One is a 2.0 and one is a 3.0. They say that 3.0 is up to 10 times faster than older USB technologies, so that's also a new feature. Number 3 here and number 7 here, we have 2 different card readers. One is an SD card reader and one is a combination SD MMC card reader. At number 4, this is the input for the power. Number 5, we have a combination headset microphone jack. Number 6, we have HDMI. That's, I believe, new for us. That will allow us to connect to projectors and televisions and other output devices with sound as well as video. Number 8, we got LED indicator. That's just the battery light. And number 9 is the power button. So as you can see, it's really slim, and we are very excited to have this as our new laptop.
I'd like to go over what comes with this computer. First of all, we are not giving her a carrying case. So one of your homework assignments is to make sure that she has a carrying case for her laptop on the first day of school. Those backpacks that they carry around are really heavy, and you need some kind of protection for the laptop, which is thin, as you see, and can be fragile. Having said that, I'll go over the software first. The Windows, Yoga comes with Windows 8.1, Microsoft Office Pro, we're up to 13 at this point. We have Adobe Creative Cloud, which includes things like Premiere video editing software, Photoshop, InDesign, Dreamweaver web editing software, and a whole host of media design software. It comes with all the textbooks that are available digitally, which is not all the textbooks, but everything that's available she will have on her laptop. It's important to note that one of the main reasons why we maintain ownership and lease the laptop to you for 4 years is because of the software. We have site license for all of the software that we're giving, and just for one piece of software, the Adobe Creative Cloud, all by itself, if you were to buy it off the shelf, cost $2,500. So we're giving your daughter access to some really powerful software that she gets to use for 4 years without really having to pay for it. So that's one of the things that your money goes toward, and why we don't just have you go out and buy a laptop. Also, what you're paying for is 4-year parts and labor warranty. This is really, really important. They're high school students. Things happen. Their books will smash their screen. It's happened before. We've had people step on computers and break things. Basically, anything that's broken can be fixed and is covered under warranty and is fixed for free. Anything that's lost is not covered. So if she cracks her screen, it's covered. If she breaks her keyboard, it's covered. If she drops the computer and breaks the whole computer, it's covered. Let me give you an example of what might not be covered. If her dog chews the stylus and she comes into school with a little nub of a stylus left, that's covered because she hasn't lost the stylus. It just no longer works. So she can turn in that nub of a stylus with teeth marks on it and get a brand new one. Same thing with the charger. If she brings in a broken charger or even parts of the charger, it's covered. But if that stylus gets completely eaten by the dog, then you will need to make arrangements to purchase a new one for her, because at that point it's lost. It's completely unrecoverable. We don't have the parts and pieces to turn into Lenovo, and therefore it's lost and it's not covered. So it's really important to understand what's covered and what's not covered. So don't lose anything. Even if it's broken, don't throw it away. It's covered. So it's really, really important to do that. Finally, one of the things that you're paying for is a really robust CSG help desk. I'm going to go over the help desk a little bit more later. But for now, I'll leave it at that. They are a really fantastic resource to make sure that your student is up and running almost all the time for her schoolwork.
Now I'd like to move on to why we do what we do. This slide is text heavy and it's research based, so I'm going to just read you the bullet points and do some explaining as I go and also later. First of all, one-to-one provides flexibility, customization, personalization, which enhance student motivation, morale, performance, efficiency, and effectiveness. I will say anecdotally, giving computers to girls makes a huge difference because technology still seems to be the domain of the men of the household. So when we give them their own laptop, we empower them to use the technology in ways that they've never really had to do before. It aligns with today's mobile society where anytime, anywhere learning is a reality. The students will often say the best thing about the laptop is that they can do their studying on the bus, or they can do their work when they're waiting for their sister at play practice, or they can, do it any place that they want. There's no special place that they need to go to do their work. It supports collaborative learning, which is ideal for girls. It standardizes and improves efficiency and cost effectiveness across campus from training and use to maintenance. What this is comparing to is programs where people bring their own device. By giving everybody the same computer, the teachers know what to expect, they know what software is on there, they can make assignments, we can support the students better, we can support the teachers better. It facilitates the use of ebooks and textbooks. Now I will say that textbook companies have gotten a lot better about putting things online. When we started, there were very few texts that were available, but now they are getting on board. So the textbooks are starting to become more and more available. We get whatever textbooks we can that are digital, so that's still an evolving process. And having your own laptop engages learners. So why not just a laptop? Why do we get a convertible laptop and pay a little bit of a premium for that capability? Convertibility is absolutely key. I told you earlier that it allows pen-based computing with the stylus. Now you can touch with your fingers and you have the keyboard. What we've noticed is that math and science classes, which are obviously very symbol heavy, are very stylus based. It's extremely difficult to write a math equation with a keyboard. It's very, very difficult to draw a chemical equation or a chemical bond diagram with a laptop. You can't do it with a keyboard. So you'll notice for your daughter, if you ask her, math and science, they use a lot of the pen, a lot of stylus-based technology. English and history, on the other hand, are very text-based. So when they're taking notes or writing papers, they're always using the keyboard. So you may wonder, are they really using the stylus? And you just ask to see her math homework sometime, or ask to see her science homework, and you'll see what they're doing. Now that we have the touch-based, finger browsing, finger-based touching is really great for reading and browsing, and I won't say more casual work, but less keyboard-based work. So now we're in this whole new realm where we can touch our computers, and it's really changing the way we interact with our computers. Now, we've only had touchscreen technology with Windows 8 for 1 year, so that is still evolving. And now we even have the camera gesture, so we're just going to have to wait and see how to expand this list. What I wanted to talk to you about next is applications that are designed specifically for these multiple inputs, and I want to show you a page of OneNote which comes with Microsoft Office Pro to give you an example of what I'm talking about in terms of why convertibility is so very important. This is a page of a student's OneNote notebook. Now, OneNote is basically a digital binder system. What it allows you to do is put everything that you would put in a binder in a OneNote notebook. So along the side here, you'll see she has world history, Spanish 2, biology, world literature. She has different binders. Across the top, we're looking at a page from the biology book. You'll see she has different units across the top. These are tabs. And then she has different pages in each different tab. So we're looking at Unit 10. We're looking at an outline of Unit 10. Notice that she can type text, she can handwrite text, she can add clips from the digital textbook. Here's where the rubber hits the road. You can't possibly imagine a student taking scissors to a textbook and pasting clip outs from the textbook into her notebook. But that's exactly what they're able to do when the notebook is digital and when the textbook is digital. You can also do audio recordings and video recordings. It's fully searchable and allows the students to have multiple binders, which is, if you think about that, you'd never in your world be able to carry around 6 different binders all at once. But when you have a digital binder system and you put everything all in the same place, then that's exactly what you can do. The students say that the OneNote application is really truly the one application that they cannot live without. So the stylus combined with OneNote is really, really powerful as a learning tool. So sometime in the near future, when your daughter starts to actually use her notebook, ask her to let you take a look around and just get a feel for what it does. At this point, I'd like to move on to computer use at CSG. We have a couple different documents that we share with the students. Both of them are found on the CSG Upper School website. There is an acceptable use policy which applies for everybody on campus, whether they're parents, board members, visitors, or students. And we have standards of behavior, which kind of takes some of the language of the acceptable use policy and makes it a little bit more accessible. When you go to the main CSG site, the main CSG homepage, click on the Upper School link. And when you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a section of forms and files. The acceptable use policy and the technology standards of behavior are both found here. We do go over both with the students during their orientation, so they do understand the expectations for use and expectations for use of the network. It's helpful for you if you also look at those. Now I'd like to move on to responsible use. During the orientation, we do go over what is responsible use on this laptop. We make the students administrators on their machines, which allows them to be able to install anything that they wish on their computer. We ask two things in regard to that. Is one, it must be legal, and two, it can't get in the way of the primary purpose of the computer, which is schoolwork. In the past, we've had students install games that are so compelling that it distracts them from their schoolwork, and we've asked them to remove the game. Financial responsibility, you are to pay $500 per year for this 4-year lease. At the end of the 4 years, the computer is yours. You may donate it back to the school if you'd like to, or you can keep it. And you'll have to make that decision at the end of the 4 years. The $500 per year covers, of course, the computer and the software that we put on it. It covers the 4-year warranty, and it covers the substantial help desk that we have. Our help desk is a Lenovo, I believe it's called a Tier 1 repair site. So we can repair most things on site. This is a huge benefit to the students and the teachers here. It means that we have much less downtime. If a student has a issue that can be fixed here, we are certified to open it up, fix the computer, and give it back to her in minimal amount of time. If we can't fix it, there are a few things that we cannot fix, namely some of the chassis parts that get broken. We have to take the computer, box it up, send it back to Lenovo, wait for their repair center, wait for the mail, and then get it back to the students, which often takes 3 to 4 to 5 weeks. So by being a support center here, we give a huge benefit. So there's an extra amount of money that you're paying for to help provide support. We do go over appropriate use and care. We tell the students to treat the laptop as if it were her purse, because she's not going to leave her purse out on the Kirk campus on a bench. She's not going to leave her purse in a car that's unlocked. So just like it's a purse, she needs to make sure that she locks it up when it's appropriate to lock up. We have not had any thefts from CSG. We've had a few incidences where a home was broken into, a computer was left at an airport, and we had one issue at Kirk campus, but we have had no issues here with students just leaving them in the halls. We do ask that they put them away, but it's not as critical of an issue as once they're off campus, which we really make sure that they're trying to take care of their computer. As for service and support, I've already told you about the help desk and that we're Lenovo certified. If the student has to leave her laptop for any extended period of time and she really needs it, she gets a loaner laptop. If possible, if the hard drive hasn't been damaged and there's no virus, we take the hard drive out of her computer, put it in the newer computer, and she's off and running with all her files and everything as if it were her own computer. Obviously, if there are hard drive issues like viruses and other damage, we can't do that. But she does get a loaner laptop to use in the meantime. And finally, in terms of school security, we do have internet blocking software to block porn sites, certain shopping sites, hate sites, gambling sites, that sort of thing. We have virus protection that we have installed on the computers and monitor actively and teach the students how to use. And we have a junk mail filter so that they're not inundated with junk. Now I'd like to move on to the subject of theft. Does the CSG one-to-one program cover theft or loss? And the quick answer is no. If your daughter has lost her computer, the warranty and insurance does not cover it. The longer answer is theft and loss are not covered by CSG's convertible laptop insurance policy, but accidental damage is covered. So this goes back to the warranty. Anything that's broken can get fixed. Anything that's missing is the parent or guardian's responsibility to replace. So what we recommend is that you add your daughter's Lenovo Yoga convertible laptop to your homeowner insurance policy. They will ask what the replacement value of the laptop is, and I recommend that you say $2,000. This will just help any painful process if the unfortunate event would happen that it has been stolen. Battery issues. This new Yoga has an expected battery life of 8 hours, and according to our tests here on campus, that's 8 hours of heavy use with video streaming. So that's a significant improvement over the X series Lenovo tablet PC that we've been using in the past. Even with that, battery management is going to be an issue, and we recommend that students really do care for their batteries. This is just an issue with all digital technologies these days. The batteries are the first thing to go when it comes to needing new equipment. So here are our recommendations for getting longer battery life. First is they should fully charge their laptops every day before they bring them into school. It's just leave them charged overnight, and then they'll start the day with a full battery, which is really important. We recommend that they don't charge the battery until the battery meter actually goes below 5%. What you want to do is cycle the battery as much of maximum and as much of minimum as you can tolerate in terms of your comfort level, thinking that your computer's all going to shut down. So we teach them this in the orientation, but I'm just going to tell you parents this as well, because at some point the battery is going to start functioning less well. 4 years is a long time for a battery. So if your daughter takes care of the battery, we have had great successes with students having 4 years of life out of these computers. Now the Yoga is a brand new machine, so we'll have to wait and see how these go, but we believe that they will last the 4 years. And finally, we teach the students multiple strategies for saving battery while they're on campus. Using sleep and shutdown are two things, adjusting the brightness, turning the Wi-Fi off. We go over these sorts of things in the student orientation. I'd like to start wrapping up these final few slides with how you can support your daughter. We often get the question of how you can help at home, and I have a few suggestions for you. First is to help her understand that maintenance is an important part of ownership. We do teach the students how to do virus scans and how to do updates and the importance of keeping the computer running well. I offer maintenance parties to make it so that it's not as easy to procrastinate these issues. So I bring in food and we listen to music and we do computer scans just to get students to know how to do it, but also to not procrastinate. It's a very easy thing for all of us, adults as well, to procrastinate on maintenance. If you can help at home, just ask her, hey, when's the last time you did some maintenance on your computer? Second, and this is a really important one, is help her to understand that backups are an important part of data management. I tell the students that every hard drive is going to crash at some point. And if they're lucky enough to get through their 4 years without a hard drive crash, that's great. But they need to be prepared for it. So we teach them how to do backups, we teach them why to do backups, and we teach them where to do backups. Doing the backups then, of course, it's their responsibility. Every year we do have a few hard drive crashes, and the best ones are the ones that the students say, oh yeah, no problem, I have a backup. It's a pain, granted. If you have a hard drive crash, you have to recreate everything, but if you've got all your data, it's not as big of a deal than the student who loses all her data the week before a term paper is due and before exams are coming up. So just if you could help her to understand how important that is and say, hey, when's the last time you backed up? That would be a huge benefit to her. And finally, if she's not already typing 50 words per minute without looking at the keyboard, she really needs to work on her touch typing skills. We recommend that students be able to type without looking because the value of eye contact is really important. The value of speed is really important when you're taking notes. They should be able to type really without thinking. And if your child does not already type 50 words a minute or better, there are many resources at the one-to-one course that you can look at. CSGMoodle.org has many typing resources that you can look at. I will take a little detour to that website next. From the main CSG homepage, if you go to Quick Links, you'll see a link to Moodle. Scroll down to the bottom, where you'll see upper school, lower school, middle school, upper school, and you'll see a couple of department courses. Go to the technology section and click into the one-to-one resources for middle school and upper school. And there are all kinds of information here for the computers. There are resources on how to learn about the computer itself. There's maintenance, there's Outlook instructions, there's Word, Excel, and PowerPoint how-tos. We have lots of information about multimedia production. We have resources and tutorials. This is a long one. Resources and tutorials about Dreamweaver, which is also in the Adobe suite. There's Adobe tutorials. And going down to the miscellaneous section, there are a whole slew of typing resources. There are typing tests, there's typing courses, there's ways to work on your speed. Okay, so if she's not already typing, then she definitely needs to be working on it. There is also a CSG summer school program that is a keyboarding course, so that's as a second option for you.
I'm going to start wrapping up here by pointing out a few very important resources. We have 3 websites that I would like to direct you to. This third one here, I've already discussed a little bit. It's the Moodle course for one-to-one resources for middle school and upper school. These 2 can be accessed from the upper school technology page. There's a laptop handbook and a laptop troubleshooting guide. I'm going to click into the laptop handbook.
This is all about this program. What I want to show you is how do you navigate from the CSG's main page to this particular website. So, as I showed you before, click into the upper school section. Scroll down to forms and files. Actually go down even further to favorite links. And you'll see the Tablet PC handbook. We need to change the vocabulary there, but that's coming soon. Tablet PC handbook comes here. So here's the handbook. Here's our philosophy and vision. If you're interested in why we do what we do, then you can check out this page. We have tablet PCs. Oh, I got to change that word. Convertible laptops and CSG. Okay, again, why do we do a one-to-one program? What is the information about convertible laptops? Why laptops instead of tablets? Okay, more information than this video. Here's information on what you get. So if you're somebody who really wants to know the specs of this yoga, come in here. We got the whole software. We have costs for the software. I looked online and found information about what the software would cost if we were to ask you to buy it off the shelf. And the software alone would be $3,200. So it's a significant benefit that you get by paying for the lease. We have FAQs, not only for students and parents, but also for teachers. This is my way of getting everybody on the same page so that a student who might come in and say, well, I couldn't do my homework because I had a dead battery or something, they need to understand that that's not an excuse, and the teacher can see that too. So we have information about, can I use my own case? Can I decorate my own case? What constitutes an excuse for homework, etc. There's an FAQ for you. Okay, what's the loan period? If I'm paying for the laptop, why does it still belong to the school? These are some of the literally the most frequently asked questions that we've had over the past. And FAQs for teachers. What can I expect to have in my class when everybody's using a laptop? We have examples of curriculum integration for every subject area. It's just 1 or 2 examples each, but it gives you a sense of what your child might do with the laptop while she's at school. There are how-tos. Again, this is a link to the troubleshooting guide. I'm going to show you that in a moment. And then there's the one-to-one Moodle course. In fact, while I'm here, I'll show you the troubleshooting guide now. The troubleshooting guide looks like this. Basically, what we would like to do is empower the students to be able to do some basic troubleshooting on their own. We do not want the stereotypical girl thing where they come in with a tiny little problem to the help desk and say, can you please help me? I don't understand how to do this. Now, that question is perfectly acceptable, but we try to empower them to do a little bit of troubleshooting on their own so that they can say, okay, well, I did this, and I did this, and this worked, and this didn't, and here's a screenshot of what it is that I tried, and can you help me? So that they're a little bit more, I guess, assertive and knowledgeable and empowered to get their own troubleshooting started. There are tips for you. I highly recommend that you read these. We're in a world where everybody says that you should have your computer in a common place, and now all of a sudden we've given you a laptop that she can then take into her bedroom and close the door. How do you handle situations like that? So there's tips for you on how do you handle these things. There are tips for students, like clean your hard drive of old files regularly. Make sure you do backups. Practice good ergonomics. Okay, so these are important things. I go over these with the students. There are a set of do's and a set of don'ts. There is the acceptable use policy. Now again, this is linked from CSG's main website as well. We have our standards of behavior. We have the lease agreement, which is coming soon. As of the time of this recording, the lease agreement is not yet finalized, but the text of it will be here. We have a page on cell phone etiquette. All the students, well, most of the students walk around with their cell phones, and we just need to make sure that they are using them appropriately, and that they're aware of that there actually are spoken and unspoken rules about cell phone use. This is information about the freshman technology course, which has changed from last year. It is called Media Design, Development, and Production, so you can see what types of work we're going to be doing. And this is information about the tablet orientations. All new students, you have two 2-hour sessions that you must attend. Returning students have a single 1.5-hour session, and you can sign up at this Sign Up Genius. And finally, we have contact information. If you have any questions at all, all the information is here.
Finally, I'd like to point out Jeff Grunwald, who is our brand new Director of Technology Operations. If you have any questions at all about anything that you've seen during this orientation, please feel free to contact either Jeff or I. Next steps. There are 3 things that you need to be doing next. First, for all returning students, these are Form 8 CSG students that are rising to Form 9 at CSG, you must sign up for an orientation session in where your student is going to receive her laptop and a brief orientation. It's about 1.5 hours long. There are 3 different sessions. You may sign up for one of the 3. They have been arranged with athletics so that they don't conflict with athletic practices in August. So please sign up for an orientation that is convenient for you. If your student is brand new to CSG, there is a mandatory mini course that same week that you should have been receiving information about. It's on the new student page that the admissions office has put together. Step 2, you're going to be signing the lease agreement. The lease agreement can be found at the upper school website in the Forms and Files section. Please print that out. When you sign it, you're also verifying that you have watched this online orientation. Then you're going to either have your student bring the lease agreement to the student orientation session, or you can mail it to our new Director of Technology Operations, Jeff Grunwald. Either one is fine, but it's important to note that your child will not be able to take her laptop home unless she has a signed lease agreement. So she can come to the orientation, she can get all the information, but she may not take her laptop home until a parent or guardian, has signed the lease agreement.
And finally, I'd like to thank you for your time. It is an exciting year because this is a piece of technology that's very different from the ones that we've had up until this point. So, and Windows 8 is really a really great way to have a laptop and a tablet these days. The touch technology is really starting to take off. So we're very, very excited to continue this great program. And as I've said several times, please don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Contact me at any time with any concerns or anything, and I can help you. If I can't answer the question, I will certainly help you find the appropriate people who can. Thanks, and have a great day.